Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Yes, thank you, Noreen. Like, what day is it, right? Wednesday. Hello. Happy Wednesday, April 6th, 2022. You guys, I am so excited to have this particular lady on. I'm going to take her off for just a second. There we go. Oh, that now it's just her. Hold on a second. Okay, never mind. Zoom, it's got some glitches, or I need to change my settings. Anyway, but you guys, I'm super excited to have this particular person on. So you're gonna hear her story, but I'm gonna tell you why I asked her to be on the call. So last week we had an amazing call with Jessica Gutierrez, one of the founders of Team Beauty, and as she was talking, she really I called her afterwards and I was like, you know what, girl, you really reminded me, and I know this, but it's like, how to how to tie your shoelaces, but then sometimes you're like, oh, this is how you tie your shoelaces, right? It's the same thing. Like, I know that what we do is change people's lives. I know that what we do is impact people. But Jessica talked so much about all the people that she's impacted. And I was like, you know what? We need to hear more of that. Okay. So this is the first person that I thought of when I thought about that. And I actually met her at, she's going to tell her story at a 6-week challenge. But let me tell you something about her. Okay. And this is something for all of us, including me, to remember, and that is, life will throw things at you, but it's how you respond that matters. Okay. And so I met her because, we were running these challenges and she won and then didn't win. Okay. The numbers came in and somebody didn't turn in their numbers. And one of the things you got to know about me is I'm not always 100%, but I do my best to live my life with full integrity. And so I was like, okay, well, this person won. So then Noreen, I don't know who she was, got booted out. And then it happened again, and I think after the first time, someone had been like, forget you, I'm out. But her reason for being there was more than just a win, right? I ended up giving her a Prolesa out of my own pocket because I was like, okay, I'm going to give her something, because even though it wasn't my fault, I was the one that made the decision of honoring that other person twice. So anyway, that's how I got to know her. She came to one of the photo shoots in Team Beauty, and I'll never forget, right by the door of my boot camp, I kind of like pinned her down. I was like, okay, girl. I started telling her about this amazing opportunity. She ended up going to one of the meetings and we become really good friends. I got to tell you, I don't really become friends with my team right away, because I'm like, okay, I got to fill people out. But I can honestly say she's somebody that I've asked to take me to the airport, to pick me up. So she's become family. So without further ado, please help me welcome a very future President's Team member, Miss Noreen. Noreen, take it away.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Let me just change my screen. Okay. So yes, like Karla said, my name is Noreen Williams. I am an active World Team member. I have found Herbalife now 3 years ago, and I absolutely love it. Okay. So I will share my results in a little while when she shows the screen, but let me share a little bit about my story. Okay. Before Herbalife, I was an overweight mom. Fast food junkie, Starbucks lover, you name it, had every excuse in the world. I was in debt, but pretended like I wasn't. I was unhappy and unmotivated at my job. Although I loved my job, it was just unmotivating, which made me feel unhappy. But I always wanted more. I always wanted to do more in what I was doing. So finding Herbalife, did I think it was a business opportunity? Absolutely not. I came into the business with a 6-week challenge, like Karla said. Okay. My husband joined me shortly after. We together have been able to get amazing results. And when the business opportunity became available, I was able to turn my results into a business. Again, coming in was a 6-week challenge. That's it. If you see the first picture right there, that was the one that I was supposed to win, but I didn't win, but I still got a Prolesa. So I was really happy because, Prolesa, for a broke mindset like I had, Prolesa was like winning all around. I also wanted to think about why I stood after I didn't win, because in my eyes, not knowing about the mindset then, but I was still winning. I lost like 21 pounds that first 6-week challenge. So I stood because of how I felt, not because of the the ending of the challenge, right? I joined another challenge, just like she said. And again, it was like the exact same thing happened, but I was now down 40 pounds. And I just said, I'm going to focus 1 year on my health, and I'm just going to focus right here for 1 year. And as you see on the right, those are my 1 year to the exact date results. And I felt amazing, absolutely amazing. I was offered the business opportunity, and I can tell you that I came in for the money because, again, I was a check to check, you know, absolutely in debt. And I decided to stay for the money. And not knowing now that, and it's way more than the money, so when I first came in, I could tell you my very first thing I heard was change your mindset, change your life. Something about that gravitated to me. It was super strong. It was my very first training I ever went to, and that's the first thing I heard. Mr. Garen Jones was my first speaker that I've ever seen, if you guys know who he is. And I never knew that. I never knew what that was going to mean for me. If we want to backtrack a little bit about who I was prior, I was a very angry person. I was a very rough person. I was a very assertive person. So I would speak my mind, say how I feel. And the way I was raised was very, very rough, right? So we handled things very differently. So this was a complete different change, a different scenery for me. I was around groups of people who were just uplifting, empowering, positive, and it was just out of my character and out of like who I was or who I was around, right? My circle of influences was different. So when I got put into this different circle, I gravitated to it, holding back, trying to figure out how can I change myself. Let's fast forward now. My life now, 3 years later, I'm a completely different person, but not just because of the weight loss, but because of what this business has been able to do for me. So I'm currently, I'm not going to cry. I'm going to speak a little bit about being a present mom. I was not a present mom. I was a 9 full-time mom all the time. My child had to get dropped off in daycare and stay with daycare after. I was never there for the, what do you call those? The class parties. Never. I just dropped off the food, and the picture you see of me dropping off my son, I record my son every Monday as I take him to school. I take him to school every day now, but every Monday I'm really present with taking him to school. He's 13 years old. He stands just as tall as me, so he's not a baby, but I'm just as present on how important it is for me to take him to school every day because I was not allowed to do that for so many years. 2020, I was able to leave my full-time job and be able to work with my business partner. I am running my business through a nutritional club boot camp. I am surrounded by all those women you see in the picture. And in the change of all of this, I don't even recognize myself sometimes because I feel like this business has changed who I am to the core, not just my mind and not just my physical, but being a mother to my son and being able to, this just happened yesterday. We did not know this, but I had just pulled up to the club. I get a phone call from my son that he has a runny nose and a stuffy nose and the school's sending him home. I was able to, leave there and it was covered and pick up my son from school, bring him home and stay with him. I used to get a pit in my stomach because my job would not allow me to leave. And nor if I left, I'd have to drop him off somewhere and come right back. And I didn't have anywhere to drop him off half the time. So before COVID, they would let them stay. And now with COVID, it's an absolute, like they have to leave school. So I was driving to pick him up and I was so present with like, what would I have done? Where would he have gone? Like, I remember that so well that it's very, very present for me to understand how grateful I am for this business opportunity to allow me to run my business and still be a mom. I was able to come home and I was able to still work, right beside him while I take care of him without a worry, without anybody being upset that I had to leave, with the club still being covered. And that for me, like I said, I came in for the money, but I now appreciate the money. Don't get me wrong, but now I appreciate everything else that the business has brought to me, which was way more. And to touch a little bit basis, oh, go ahead.
I want
I'm
to ask
sorry.
you something. So I know this is something like, so compose yourself. I know this is a lot of us moms. The other day, the same thing happened, right? So the Sebastian school called and I was like, okay, I'll be right back. And I could leave, go pick him up and be with him. And it sounds like something so small, right? But when you can't, you feel so helpless, right? So I want to take you, I want to take you back to our Slauson facility. So, this call is really about, so thank you for your sharing your story. This call is about how to make an impact, how to make income while making an impact. And I know that, after you had, you were not done with your weight loss journey when you actually started to help others. Can you take us through that, like how you started helping others and what it looked like, your first month doing this very, very part-time? The whole PayPal story is awesome. So I'm gonna, please take us back to how you turned your results into income, making an impact in other people's lives.
Yes, definitely. So when I initially lost this weight, I wasn't sharing very much on social media. I was still in that low self-esteem, hiding myself. And so when I did my first team beauty photo shoot, was probably like 3 months after I had started the first challenge. I had taken these pictures that were so beautiful, and I had put this before and after picture on social media, and I ended up getting like 110 comments. Never seen anything like that before. And my coach reached out to me. She's like, wow, you see all these comments? And everybody in the comments like, what are you doing? I want to come. So again, not understanding the business, I told my coach, like, you ready? Like, everyone's coming. And she's like, you ready? And I was like, okay, I'm ready, So she said, look, very easy. I can make the money or you can make the money. And I was like, what? That's all I heard was money. Tell me what I have to do. I signed up without hesitation. And I just said, what do I need to do? And she said, share what you do. Super easy, simple. Share what you did with these people. And I ended up having like 26 people sign up for the next challenge. And I was able to share what I do. Simple, super simple. My very first client was a 17-year-old kid. I worked at a high school. I was a school cafeteria. 17 years old, came up to me and said, I want to know what you're doing. Came to the challenge. Of anybody who signed up, he was the least one that I thought would, be successful, but he was so determined. And I just shared exactly what I did, step by step. And then the PayPal, the money just started dinging. And again, not understanding anything, by the end of the month, I had all this money in my PayPal account. I let my coach know, like, do I need to pay, Herbalife this money, or what do I do with it? And she's like, that's your money. And I was like, what? She's like, and you're still going to get a check. And I was like, oh my, what? Super easy. And that first client who ended up losing so much weight ended up joining the business. And from there on, I have just been able to impact women still to this day. So, one of the biggest things was not just the money, but the money was so great. It was such a great money to help me supplement what I was missing, and the impact. So it's the income makes the impact, but the impact is this 17-year-old kid is now in college, right? 3 years later, living life, and he is living a healthy lifestyle. And every time I see him on social media, I'm just like, wow, like he always says, I owe that to you. And that's the impact that this has brought me. And that's what I do it for, right? That's what we're chasing, is that impact to change someone's life through health and fitness and the income. So he was able to make extra money senior year, go to prom, graduate, high school, and he was making money. So my second client that I got was also a young child, 18 years old, who was really great in the business, got amazing results, fell off, and recently reached out to me in his comeback. And right now she's doing absolutely amazing, killer results, and now is again making an income on the side as well. So the income has been so great because of the impact that it's bringing. And I just can't express that enough, that the income feels much better when there's an impact coming from behind it, right? So that's the story on that.
So about this 18-year-old, okay, I think you're talking about Skylar.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys, this is so awesome, because I think that, and I'm going to actually ask you a story. I'm going to ask you a question that you might use Skylar or use yourself for it. And that is that I ask all the women that come on here, I ask them this, and that is that people are hearing your story and it's like, wow, that's so amazing. She lost 60 pounds. but like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I have that much weight to lose, or like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. And like, and they're so caught up in fear, right? And so my question to you is, what would you tell them? Like, if somebody comes to you, because I mean, I know you, but I want you to answer, like, did you have all the skills? Did you, okay, you know what? I'm going to answer. Noreen was a tough cookie. Okay. And so one of the things we talked about as we were prepping for this call, I was like, it's amazing because, so I'm going to ask you that question. Like, what would you tell someone if they were like, well, I don't know how to do all of that. Or maybe they don't have the skills. And then I want you to finish after you answer that question, because you have become skilled. You have become, people have poured into you the trainings and everything, and which was the conversation that you had outside the fit camp by the car, right?
Right.
So what would you say? Because I know a lot of people are like, I want to do something, I want to change my life, but I'm scared and I don't think I can because I don't know how.
So the best thing that I did was me not knowing how either. Okay. I knew nothing about to be a nutritional coach, to be a wellness coach, I just did what I learned, and that just teach what I had learned. I am a great copycatter. I get that from Karla. Okay. I watch. Okay. It's really simple. I keep the plan super simple. I try not to get over, I was really harsh on myself. Okay. So I feel like I was kind of harsh on my clients, but then making it super simple and following an easy plan was easy to duplicate down and just be like, hey, this is, how you can do it. And with that, I've been able to successfully help others, just keeping it simple and keeping it easy and learning. I didn't know anything about muscle mass or anything about how to eat. I think the biggest thing was I didn't know how to eat or how to teach someone how to eat, but it was just showing them what I was doing and just learning. And I didn't think I can do it because it was something that I wasn't familiar with. But then when I realized that I was doing it and that I was helping all these people, it was very empowering. It was like, wow, and I think that I've never heard somebody say like, you've changed my life. And I was like, wow, like, yes, I've been there for my kids as a mom and my husband and my family, but to hear somebody, that tells me that I've changed their life, I mean, it was like a drug. I wanted like more of it, and remind me, Karla, are we talking about the conversation in the car? Like, I'm kind of lost on that conversation.
Yeah. So the reason I'm saying this is because a lot of people might be thinking like, well, I am not very personable. Like, I'm not very friendly, because I look at you and you're so personable, you're so friendly, you're so full of energy. Like, is that who you always were? So one of the things I'm going to tell you guys about this opportunity is that when you decide to join our team, we give you a system, we give you training. Now it's up to you if you attend, it's up to you if you watch, it's up to you if you pay attention, it's up to you if you implement, but there are always trainings in personal development, which, by the way, like, what is that, right? It's you developing yourself to become a better version of yourself, changing your mindset. We provide all of that inside of this opportunity. And I know, like, there are people on the here probably thinking like, well, I would love to be different, but I'm a tough cookie, or I'm whatever, I'm not friendly or whatever. And Noreen had a conversation with somebody outside her gym, and that I was like, you know what? I think more people need to hear that, because you sometimes see people and you think that's the way they've always been. Mm-hmm. Right? Oh, we don't realize all the work that has gone, her 7-minute everyday meditation or 7-minute personal development every morning. So can you take us about who you were before and then who you are today, that, that conversation that you had with that person outside the car, outside the gym?
Yeah. So talking about personal development, I remember going to a training and hearing personal development, and I was sitting down. I had no idea what personal development was. I was 38 years old. No idea what it was. I was Googling personal development and did not understand. Right now, I have completely poured myself into changing myself every single day. And recently there was a conversation, and it was talking about whether you were a fighter or you're a fighter, or you're an aggressive person. They were talking about people who are, and I was like, no. And somebody just turned to me and she's like, you're a fighter. I can see it. Like, you're aggressive. And I was like, no, that's not me at all. that used to be me. That used to be me. I used to take things so personal. If somebody were to say the most smallest thing to me, I felt like it just daggered in me, and I needed to address that conversation and to know that that's not who I am anymore. And I just simply looked at the girl and I said, I'm actually not that person anymore. I've grown so much. So I understand that it's no longer my problem. It's, I'm working on myself. And unfortunately, when there's another problem, it's nothing to do with me. And she's like, wow, I just would assume. So it felt so good to not be that person anymore. And that's like, I think my biggest growth in this business is that this business didn't just change me with my income, with my being a present mother, being able to leave my job, but also changed my mind, changed who I am. And there's a quote that says, I don't live there at that house anymore, something like this, where the key does not work there anymore, right? And because some people can still come at you in a certain way, thinking that who you were, right? But I'm no longer that person. So there's a new key to the new house here, and I welcome anybody to come in. I'm no longer this aggressive, mean person, right? Because that's kind of how I was raised. And when you're raised that way, it's very hard to change that. And I've been able to do that through personal development. I'm an advocate for doing personal development every single day and making sure your mind is right. And no matter what, even if I drive 7 minutes, I have to listen to it for 7 minutes. This morning, I listened to it while I was getting ready, and I listen to it every single day. So it's very, very important to wash your brain just like you wash your face every single day. Brush your teeth every single day. We need to wash our brain of bad thoughts, because we are our worst critic and we think the worst about so many things, but it's able to like wash it out. And I've never been able to feed my mind these things ever. I never thought this way. And I am currently 42 years old, breaking generational curses and changing not only my life, but my kids' lives. And I can tell you that changing my mom's life is really big. My parents believe certain things. So to be able to be around my mom more often these days and to hear her what did she say? She's recommending to people like they should listen to podcasts. I'm like, wow, that's so nice. My mom's telling them, yeah, my daughter listens to this thing, like you should listen to it, it'll help you. And that makes me feel very accomplished, because we can get caught up in that part of our life, especially when we change, but our circle of family has not changed. It still impacts you. So you have to prepare yourself, like Karla said, for all the triumphs and the things that we go through in this business. I've been through a lot, and with every hurdle, I've been able to jump over it and come back a little bit stronger, and come back a little bit stronger, and come back a little bit stronger, and never giving up. And just to believe that this is for you, right? Just to believe that this is for you. I truly believe that this opportunity came for me, came knocking, came and has come with every bit of force. Like, this is what you needed in your life. And I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful for the impact, the income, the women that I get to surround myself with. I just have never been around these kind of women in my life. So it's really nice to do that. And now to be able to create that. Where I do my business from nutritional club and the gym, to hear people say, like, I love coming here because of what you bring. If I miss a day, I'm getting messages like, missed you today, where are you? I never got that at work. They never text me that they missed me. So it's so nice. Yesterday they're messaging me like, how is your son? How is he doing? Today, 5 people are like, how's your son doing? Like, wow, like to make that impact and to let women know that there is a space that you can, be this person. And it's just life-changing for me. It really is. And I'm super grateful, especially even to be on this call and to share my story with you guys, to know that there's still a journey, but I'm excited about the journey that's still to come. So, and more growth and a better me and, you know, to impact more women. And I'm there for anybody who wants to talk. And I always have so much to share, you know, I'm really great about sharing everything. So, you know, definitely, I hope this helped everybody and I hope somebody takes something from it. Feels relatable. I hope.
So I have one last question and we'll finish with this. So I always ask, what has been the best part of being part of this community for you? What would you say, like if somebody were to say, well, what's the thing that you love the most, or what has been the best thing about being part of this business?
Oh, I can think hands down is the people that I get to meet, the women that I get to surround myself with, that I can tell you I didn't have that circle. I have friends in my life that are so dear to me, but to have a circle of women who are able to see this potential in you and push you and be in the same vision and want to see you win, like that's really difficult, you know, for me. I was never around anything like that where women would want to see other women win, you know, and not tear them down. So for me, it's super big and I think the biggest thing is the relationships. Like Karla said, I did not understand anything about this. I thought it was just simply a weight loss. We were going in there to lose weight, and to have a relationship with Karla, like I have, it's amazing. You know, I cherish my friendship with her and my relationship. I get to work every single day with my mentor, who is absolutely wonderful, and we get to challenge each other on a daily basis. And to think that there's still more women, I think I just told her this, to think there's still more women that I'll be meeting, you know. Sometimes at this age, a lot of women that I know, like my aunts, they kind of have their circle already, but I still have a chance to meet so many more women, to empower, to change lives. And that's what I think is my biggest thing from here, is just being able to meet and to be around some really badass women that challenge me all the time. And I love it.
All right. Okay. Well, you guys, thank you so much, Noreen, for such an amazing contribution to everybody, you know. And I think like the biggest thing I would love for you to take away is like, if she can do it, if she can change, if she can transform, think about what is possible for you, right? Like maybe you need to transform your physical body, and that's great. But what if you were also to start thinking like, who else could I become mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, along with physically, right? And there's a couple of girls on the team that are just like Noreen, come with some toughness, but you attract what you are, right? And to see how much we've all evolved has been such an amazing thing. And so thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you so much for being vulnerable. And with that said, you guys, make sure you get together with the person that invited you to this call. Let them know that you would love to be part of our team. We'll set you up. We'll train you. We'll teach you. And more than anything, we'll show you how to become a better version of yourself. Okay. With that said, we'll see you guys next week. I think I'll tell myself again. Bye. Do it. Yeah.